What's up, everybody? This is FSGM. I thought I was going to be able to go live, but unfortunately, I guess I couldn't do so. I guess I didn't meet the requirements with my devices. Anyways, a quick recap of the first 8 picks or whatever. As I mentioned about a half hour ago or whatever, this was a corner and offensive line heavy draft, or at least in the first 8 to 10 picks. And the funny thing is, is that that's what the Seahawks needed, right? So the Falcons just took the first wide receiver, Drake London, but it's just interesting that the 2 corners went really early in the draft, and I'm waiting for the Seahawks to go on the clock. And I wouldn't be surprised if John Schneider trades back. I mean, that's kind of what he does, but we'll see. I'm just kind of waiting around. But there's still some good talent. Like I said, this is a heavy draft on the secondary, so we'll see. And there's still some good pass rushers and all that, so we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of waiting around for the Seahawks to go on the clock. But as of right now, I would think that John would trade back. But look, like I said, we'll see, because I pay attention to college football, but to say that I know every single player, like I said earlier, isn't true. So I just base it off of position, height, weight, and so on and so forth. But they have gone. They're on the clock right now. They just put them on there. It's 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go. So we'll see pick number 9, and I will. It'll be a little bit longer a video because the 49ers are right after them. So just bear with me as we go through the first 9, pick number 9 and pick number 10, because there's rumors floating around about Deebo Samuel, and that's wild. Look, the Niners are obviously the Seahawks are tribal, right? So if the Niners get rid of Deebo, that would be pretty wild. We'll see what happens here, because that's been talked about too for a couple days, or at least a week. But it would be really surprising if John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan get rid of Deebo, but we'll see. Anyways, as of right now, there's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'm just kind of feeling a little bit of, just kind of doing a little bit of filler. So just hang in there with me. But I wanted to do this, and like I said, I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to go live, so I apologize for that. But I thought that this would be a pretty cool way to give you guys content for the Seahawks pick. So again, it's the same thing. We'll see. Offensive line, secondary, they could go D-line. I mean, they could do whatever they want, because a couple D linemen went earlier. I don't know if they, obviously the kid from Georgia, the kid from Oregon and all that, but we'll see what they do. So they just said that they added Drew Lock, Noah Fant this year. They added Shelby Harris, and it's Nwosu. So earlier I brought up they signed somebody from the Chargers. It was Nwosu, the linebacker. Okay, and the pick is in. So that means that they're not trading out, which I brought up earlier that was a possibility. But hey, somebody was there that they wanted. So let's see what they do here. Let's see. They're just going through a commercial break, so just once again bear with me. And like I said, I will stay for pick 10 as well, because that's the 49ers, and obviously they're our rival, and within the division, obviously. And we'll see if the Niners trade Deebo Samuel, excuse me. But again, I thought that they might trade back, but again, obviously there was somebody there on their board, and as most Seahawks fans know, the Seahawks they don't grade their draft board for the rest. Like, they don't compare their board to the rest of the NFL. The way they do it is this player can he beat out somebody on our roster, right? So that's what John always says is their board's a little bit different than everybody else, or their grading process, I should say. I hope I say that right. Yeah, I'm interested to see which way they go. But again, like I said earlier, it's best player on the board. It could be a corner. It could be a D-line, O-line. I mean, those are really the big three for me. But anything's possible, like I said. Yeah, and a couple guys they lost. I was a little surprised that they let DJ Reed. It just popped up here that they let DJ Reed go. But, like I said earlier, they did add Justin Coleman back. But that was a little disappointing that DJ Reed, I believe he went to the Jets. But, the Jets did pay him a pretty penny. So that was a little disappointing, but I understand it. And like I said, they got Justin Coleman back. But let's see, they're putting up the Seahawks draft room. And that looks like Pete and looks like the assistant. And it looked like maybe Jody Allen was on the TV. Yeah, and Daniel Jeremiah just said he's a little surprised that John didn't trade back, right? So, or I think that was Daniel. I have the volume a little lower than normal, but here's the pick. Here we go. Let's see what they do.
In the 2020 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Charles Cross, tackle, Mississippi State.
Okay, Charles Cross. So let's see what they say. I think you guys can hear it, but a tackle. So there you go. They're pulling. They went back to their roots, right? Like I said, with Russell Okung back in the day, or in the top 10. Now they pick Charles Cross. So that's a good thing. Hopefully, well, here let's see what they say about Charles Cross, and then I'll respond.
Get back to being a power running team. That's not what Charles Cross does or did at Mississippi State. But look at the build. Look at this body on him. I think that he's a guy that's been overblown in terms of everyone thinks he's only a pass protector. I think he can be a run blocker. He just hasn't had to do it much at Mississippi State. Look at a crash course in Seattle. And you don't see a lot of physicality. You see a physical guy, you see weight, you see athleticism, you see him be physical. Whether or not they run the ball, not just watching him play, he is a talented young man. Does this mean they're going to let Locke cook? Is that what you're
Rich got cute. Let Locke cook. Anyways, let's see. They're just finishing up the profile here.
This dude's never on the ground. You don't even write that on your paper. Outstanding balance. Here he is again, just staying connected. His ability to react to counters. You're going to try and hit him and show the ability to redirect and adjust. You're going to get beat. You're going to be in bad positions like this one right here. Watch him recover. That shows you the polish as a pass protector. And in the run game, again, Joel mentioned it, didn't get a ton of opportunities there, but there are examples of him creating some movement at the point of attack. That's going to continue to improve as he gets more experience.
Okay, as you see, there is the draft room in Washington celebrating Charles Cross now making his way to Seattle. So now it's time for the Jets, who are on the clock, less than 5 minutes to go for the 10th overall pick. They're second of the top 10 in this draft. Ian, you take it away.
Okay, so
Rich, the fact that the Jets are in this position set to make the number 10 overall pick is noteworthy. My understanding is that this was the pick they offered in a package for Deebo Samuel. It was the number 10 overall selection, and then a pick swap later. That trade obviously did not materialize. By tonight, the Jets now set to pick.
Yeah, so I guess the Deebo Samuel thing is dead. I guess the Jets are gonna keep that pick, but I don't really like him. But the insider from NFL Network said that the trade didn't materialize. Anyways, so getting back to what I said earlier about the draft needs, they basically did what they did with Russell Okung, like I said about a half hour ago, maybe an hour ago. This was a heavy O-line, D-line, secondary draft, right? Again, to be repetitive, the fact that they kept the pick and picked the tackle told, once again, that they had this guy within that grouping of tackles. We'll never know. Maybe down the road we will, but we'll never know where they actually graded each tackle, I would love to know if they had, like, where did they really grade him, right? Like, is he better than what, for the Seahawks, did they view Cross better than the other guys that were taken earlier? We'll never know until like way down the road, but that would be interesting. But I'm cool with this pick. Like I said, from what NFL Network said, he played at Mississippi State with Mike Leach, and 80% of his snaps came from the air raid system, meaning in passing situations. That's what I mentioned earlier, is that it's basketball on grass, and I believe that Mississippi State's in the SEC, and that's one SEC school that does the air raid basketball on grass crap, it's hurt the offensive line growth. But the fact that Cross was there and all that, I think it's a great fit. I like the pick a lot. You gotta shore up that offensive line, and like I said, this is what they did in the very beginning when John and Pete first arrived. They selected Russell Okung, and now they're doing the same thing with the kid Cross. So let's see what the Jets do, even just since I'm here. Okay, yeah, so there you go. So the rumor was that the Jets and Niners were talking for the number 10 pick, and it was for Debo, right? So the Jets took Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. I'll put my TV on mute for a second and finish this up. So all in all, getting back to the Seahawks pick, like I said, to close it out, I mean, they're basically going back to their roots. Like I said, when they first started, they picked Russell Okung to be their left tackle, and now they picked the kid Cross from Mississippi State. Now, I will be interested to see if the Seahawks are still able to bring back Dwayne Brown. I hope they will, because if you can get Dwayne to still be your left tackle and then Cross can be your right tackle. Like I said, I got to do I'm not really sure if they brought back Brandon Sheldon yet or not. I think he's still on the market. But anyways, if they can bring back Dwayne Brown and have Cross, that's a nice 1-2 punch on as far as your tackles go. And like I said, this draft, I think that they're going to hit the offensive line and D-lines pretty hard and corner, like I said. But we'll see. Anyways, that was my thought on the Seahawks pick at number 9. They picked the offensive tackle, Cross from Mississippi State. Like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go live, but I thought I would just do this instead. But this has been FSGM reaction to the Seahawks pick at number 9. They picked the tackle Cross from Mississippi State. I'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.